Have you ever questioned the stability of the US currency? It's a thought that doesn't cross most minds, but let's delve into it. The US dollar, a symbol of stability, has maintained a dominant role in the global economy for over a century. It's the benchmark for international trade, the preferred currency for global transactions, and the primary reserve currency held by central banks worldwide. A historical perspective shows us that the US dollar has weathered economic storms from the Great Depression to the recent pandemic recession. Its resilience and ubiquity have been its greatest strengths, reinforcing its standing as a global economic powerhouse. The stability of the US currency has been more than symbolic. It's been practical, reliable, and a beacon of economic certainty in an uncertain world. Yet, as we look to the future, we must also consider potential threats. But what if this stability was to falter? What could potentially cause a collapse of the US currency? A currency collapse can be triggered by several factors. Just like a house of cards, one wrong move, one misplaced card, and the whole structure can come tumbling down. The same holds true for a currency. Let's dive into the factors that could potentially lead to a currency collapse. Firstly, economic instability. Imagine the economy as a boat in the ocean. When the waters are calm, the boat sails smoothly. But when the sea is rough, the boat is at risk of capsizing. Now, replace the boat with the economy and the rough seas with economic instability such as recession or unemployment. These tough times can create a domino effect, destabilizing the currency. Secondly, let's talk about inflation. You know, when you go to the store and the price of your favorite snack has gone up, that's inflation. It's the general increase in prices over time. When inflation rises too quickly, it can erode the value of money. In other words, your dollar can't buy as much as it used to. This devaluation can lead to a currency collapse if not controlled. Next up is national debt. Think of it as a credit card bill. If the bill keeps growing and you can't pay it off, eventually you'll face consequences. Similarly, when a country's debt grows too large, it can make investors nervous about the country's ability to pay it back. This can lead to a loss of confidence in the currency and potentially a collapse. Another factor is political instability, like a captain steering a ship. The government manages the economy. If the captain makes poor decisions or if there's a mutiny, the ship might sink. Similarly, political instability or loss of faith in the government's ability to manage the economy can destabilize the currency. A currency collapse is not just a theoretical concept, it has potential real-world effects. These factors don't exist in isolation. They can interact, exacerbating each other and potentially leading to a currency collapse. So while we might not be able to predict exactly when or how a currency might collapse, understanding these factors helps us to prepare and navigate these financial seas. The effects of a currency collapse are far-reaching and can be devastating. Let's delve deeper into what these effects could be. Imagine a world where the prices of goods and services skyrocket overnight. That's hyperinflation for you, a common aftermath of a currency collapse. Your hard-earned savings could lose their value, and the cost of living could rise exponentially. But it doesn't stop there. The purchasing power of the masses would take a hit. Imagine having $100 today, but tomorrow it can barely buy you a loaf of bread. That's the harsh reality of a currency collapse. Now, let's talk about the economy. A currency collapse could trigger an economic recession. Businesses would struggle to operate and many could shut down. This could result in increased unemployment rates. People would lose jobs and finding a new one would be like finding a needle in a haystack. And the ripples of a currency collapse wouldn't be confined to the borders of the United States. Given the key role of the US dollar in the global economy, a collapse could send shockwaves around the world. Other economies could crumble, and global trade could come to a standstill. Understanding these potential effects can help us prepare for such a scenario. It's a grim picture, but awareness is the first step toward preparation and hopefully prevention. In today's discussion, we've delved deeply into the potential causes and effects of a currency collapse. We've explored how factors such as economic instability, inflation, and debt can potentially lead to a currency collapse. We've also examined the potential impacts of such a collapse, which include economic recession, loss of purchasing power, and societal upheaval. While the collapse of the US currency is not inevitable, it's always wise to stay informed and prepared. Remember, knowledge is power. If you enjoyed this type of content, please consider subscribing, leaving a comment and hitting the like button.